he told me one thing, that Rahul, don't chase money. Just chase work and money will fall. 60 days when they are working with us, we will treat them better than Tatas or Reliance or Adani. Hiring is a pain point game in our industry. Starting in Jan 2022, after 1 year, I was again starting with 0 employees. Till the time your story is not out, why should? Then your stock is not treated like an investable stock. Your stock is treated like a tradable stock. So in terms of reputation, in terms of brand management also, what we are getting into the thing, the idea is to be transparent, what you're getting, and this thing, add on to the creativity, add on to the emotions, and add on to the best thing that the consumer can get out of that particular company, that particular product, or that particular service. That market will think that AI is coming and supporting us. Okay, no. AI will take slow elements of the market, enter the market, understand the market, and time it really well. Time it too well. You need to understand in 2025, you should be building for 2030. But if the opportunity comes in 2028, you should be ready in 2028 also. The moment scale is coming, it will feel that what you could have achieved in 10 years, you have achieved in 10 days.
Hi all, welcome to the Strategic Pulse. I'm your host Darshan Praveen. Today we have Rahul Tekwani as our podcast guest. He is the founder of Branding Edge, which is in the space of reputation management. Stay tuned and watch the entire episode. Thank you. So hi Rahul, welcome to the Strategic Pulse. Thank you for joining us today. For all our viewers who are meeting you for the first time, can you briefly introduce yourself and what you do?
Thanks Sudarshan for having me over firstly. So typically, in a simpler word, if I can put across, we are a strategic consulting firm who's trying to transform the manner in terms of how comms are done in India. I run this company called Branding Edge. What we do is we work in reputation management, we work in creative management, brand management, and we work in investor management. So what we are trying to achieve is we are trying to, be part of all the entry points in which a company / the founder's reputation can be affected. Okay. And then we are trying to, because India is in boom, right? And what we have seen post-COVID and what we are expecting for another 2 decades, when the whole country is booming, when markets are booming, we just want to focus on saving and building those reputations for the companies who have worked so hard. Okay. And we are doing it under one roof.
Okay. Can you, like you mentioned, you're a strategic consultant. Can you elaborate further on that? And when you say reputation at stake, can you manage that for companies and the top guys in the companies? Can you further elaborate on that for our viewers?
So strategic consulting, when I say strategic consultancy, we will not do, so suppose we are doing reputation management. What we are trying to do is we are trying to do media management in there. Okay. We try to manage the digital profile, say particularly LinkedIn or YouTube channel or podcasting or wherever the management should go, which will build a credibility or which will have a persona to their reputation. Okay. How we are doing it, why we say it's a consultancy, not an agency model. Okay. Because typically we are the trendsetters, we are the process builders in that thing. We are not trying to be the followers wherein, we are getting those press releases, we are just trying to do what other strategists are advising the management. So we are more like acting like a partner to the manager in building consultants, building strategies. Okay. Not the service provider, where management are just talking to their strategists and then they are directing their service providers to do this, that. So we are not in that bucket. We are actually those strategists. And for people who just want our strategy, we are doing the strategy. For people who are fine with our strategy and who actually want to get it executed by us, we are doing that thing only. So okay. Typically, what Prashant Kishore did in politics, we are trying to do in comms.
Okay. And how did you venture into this? What space or gap did you identify and when did you start this?
So it's a very interesting story. Typically, I started my journey in media in 2016, Uh, in May 2016, when I entered, I was thrown into this capital market, the world of capital market. Still remembering that my first IPO was Mahanagar Gas. You know, so over a period of 3 years, I was working in a top agency which used to do IPOs. Over a period of 3 years, I did around 75 fundraise. That was capital market game, also debt game, also QIPs and everything. We were building reputation for that. I was 24. Okay, I just got too bored of it. You know why? Because I thought it's a template driven process. No one is just thinking outside the box on how to change the template. Okay, uh, just because no one wanted to change the template, they had a very easy answer that SEBI will not allow you to do this thing. Just because they were not thinking creative enough. So 24, 25, I left that thing. I went to an ad agency. When I went to this ad agency, I joined that ad agency in September. COVID came in March. So this 6 to 7 month period was a great learning experience for me, because at the end of the day, we were just working in our own silos saying that, we are the greats, we are doing capital market, we are doing fundraise and everything. But when I got used to and hooked to how the Indian consumer is thinking and what the consumer wants to hear, because on the capital market side also, what we were focusing on was on retail investors, which is like the typical Indian household.
Right.
So, and when I went to that ad agency, I really understood, what strategy really means, how you should, what strategy should go to what kind of consumer, to what kind of geographies, when you want to test launch a product, why Tamil Nadu for a particular product will be a great test market vis-a-vis a Rajasthan or a MP. Okay. So that is something I learned. Then unfortunately, COVID came, unfortunately, but on professional front, very fortunately for me. So when COVID came, I just went to that ad agency to learn,
Right.
The idea was not to take a salary. The idea was not to make money or anything. Even though I went with 3.5, 4 years of experience, when I went to that ad agency setup, practically I worked like an intern. And sometime I'll work like an intern to a 17-year-old also. And I was never not afraid of it. Because the idea was that 17, 18-year-old knows more than me in this particular setup. Okay.
Right.
So the idea was to accumulate knowledge as much as I can. COVID came. Then I realized that the learning cannot happen via Zoom calls, via video calls, via phone calls. So there was no learning. Okay. So just to be safe on the CV side of it, I thought I'm going to complete a year in this thing. And post I completed a year in September, there were a couple of opportunities which came the way, because I thought that COVID was a great field leveler for me, right? Because any company that you'll talk to, they had $2 to spend. They didn't had money.
Right.
Money, they had only $2. They can go to the biggest agency. They can go to the smallest agency. Why didn't many clients go to the biggest agency? Because yes, you are paying them ₹2, but at the end of the day, founders, everyone will come on the pitch. They'll come for the pitch and everything. Within 15 days of them getting the mandates, the mandate will be given to the junior most guys. What happened, because I had that much relation and credibility built because of the IPO segment, what I did, founders knew that, okay, we are willing to spend this our $2 on Rahul, but because it will be Rahul only who's handling our mandate, so they had direct access to the promoters at all point of time. And I think that has been the case for last 5 years. This December, we'll complete our 5-year anniversary, and that has been the frequent case. That the clear message to the team also is, we work 5 days a week. Okay. You guys can practically go off the hook after Friday evening. Okay. I work all 7 days, 24/7, so any founder or any of our clients calls our team, the client can call me. That's a clear virtue, that you can call me, don't call my team. Eventually you can call me because I'm working all 7 days. Okay. And that's a kind of gap which I wanted to change, something where COVID acted as a boom.
Okay.
That's how we started.
What was the trigger point? Because you can always look for another company which is probably more suitable in something which your vision was for yourself in your professional life. So what was the trigger point कि नहीं ये मुझे खुद से करना है, I'll start my own thing?
So see, the trigger points were way before even I started in 2020.
Okay.
So I still remember a day before I was getting into my professional life. Okay, one of my friend's father and someone I really adored at that point of time, he told me one thing, that Rahul, don't chase money, just chase work and money will follow, right? Uh, when I started my journey, the first salary I got was 25K, right? Within 6 months of that, got an offer from a bigger agency offering you 63K,
Wow.
which was like practically 120% jump. Said no to that agency. Why? Because I really thought that wherever I'm working, I'll get a better exposure there. Again, when I was quitting that particular agency in say 2019, working at 60, another agency offered another 1,25,000. So the whole idea was never to chase money.
Okay.
The idea was, when you're young, okay, you don't have those many expense. At the end of the day, you have to end your day with a dal and a roti only, right?
Yeah.
So not into parties and everything. So what you can do, you actually create something for a very long term. Okay. And the reason I started was there was a genuine gap. And this gap was not particularly, I think the term, how I explain the whole thing is that like the industry was doing a factory kind of thing, And when I say that the industry was doing factory kind of a thing, it's not even my line. It's one of the largest corporate who came and told me that, yes, what you want to do can be a great start point because the factory kind of thing is happening in the industry, No one is treated as differently, right? And it is very unfortunate. A Tata IPO is treated in a very similar way how a 300, 400, 500 crore IPO will be treated. Okay. A 60 crore story, which can be a great story. They are raising 60 crore because of their size and everything. At the end of the day, I think our industry has forgotten that, we started jobs because we were known to be storytellers, So we are not telling stories. We are just going on size of it. Size of it should not be our concern. There are investors who are willing to invest in those stories and everything, right? Our major concern should be, we should be great storytellers, okay? Because at the end of the day, why again a factory thing? We are doing as much only wherein the transaction will end. We are not working from that. Irrespective of the fact today, if we are into IPO segment, okay? After the listing, the company may or may not work with us. We don't care about that, right? But for those 60 days when they are working with us, we will treat them better than Tatas or Reliance or Adani's, okay? At no point of time, why, again, no name saying, but again, who are the biggest corporates? And, anyone who comes in media, it's once in a quarter opportunity or once in a month opportunity, because at a team level also, you will not have those many developments, right?
Right.
Every company will not come out with a development every month. So when there are around 3 to 4 developments in a company in a year, you actually want to celebrate it like how we are celebrating Diwali. And that's the whole thought process.
Okay.
And that's how we treat our business also.
Okay. So when you started, you said you got an initial client base because of your prior networking experience through your job, correct?
Yeah.
And how did you go about hiring?
So initial client base, one client came because of job. So
Okay.
when I started, again, I no PRable story, but when I started, I had a list of 18 clients, okay, who I'm going to approach because of my previous relation and everything. I approached 4. I got rejection from those 4. Then I didn't approach the other 14.
Okay.
I didn't approach the other 14. So first client, yes, okay. I still remember, this was a client I took public. When I was leaving my first agency in 2019, I went to them. I said, eventually I'm going to start something on my own. And this client just had a word to say that the day you will start something on your own, I'll be your first client. And he actually stood by that.
Wow.
And how it came, because his first son was foraying into a startup division. So that startup mandate came to us, the listed and mandate came to us, one of the advertising mandate came to us. So it came, it was not one company, there were 4 companies which came all together when we started.
Okay.
Uh, when we went about hiring, hiring is, I don't know why you're touching on to the pain points in the very starting only, but hiring is a pain point game in our industry. Uh, when I started something 2021, because we started in December 2020. Uh, for first year, I had a team of people who I have known. We had a team of around 10 odd people to start off with.
Okay.
And when I started off also, until now, we don't like to be called as startup. We are not a startup. When we started from a 12th floor of a Lodha sea view building as an office. So it always had a very corporate mindset. Okay, that we'll not go into a cheap real estate market like Bandra also. Then, in terms of commercially, we'll start from a proper corporate market, which is Lower Parel. Okay, so we started from there. Initially, the hiring came from people you have known. Okay, some of them were from my previous agencies who were looking out for job. So that's how the hiring started in 2021. The very interesting part, and this, I would not say struggles, but the crazy things that a young company can face starting in Jan 2022. After 1 year, I was again starting with 0 employees. Yeah. So we had a team member, typical increment cycle. You offer us this much and we are offer chasing in this thing. We said no. Another people, your mindset is not matching with couple of people. You will say no. 2-3 people left and all these things. So after a year into the business, I was practically with 0 employees after 1 year. Okay. So again, which I don't look at as negative. Okay. Because I always thought that whosoever and whatever I'm doing, I can handle them on my own alone. So it's not a negative thing. But at this point of time, it is a very scale challenge, that when you want to scale, again, you're getting stuck in, execution. So that time my mother came to me and my mother said that at no point of time from now, going ahead in this company, you'll hire anyone that you know or from your previous agency. And since that day, since 3 years, we have not. So even the CVs will came if any place where I've worked previously, if they have their name as part of the internships, also it's a clear left swipe for us as HR.
Okay.
We don't hire.
Okay.
We don't hire from the places that we have worked. Okay, that I have worked previously. Okay, and just because it was just one emotional moment that okay, we are not hiring, and we have stood by that thing over a period of last 3-4 years. Fortunately, now hiring is a great thing, because we, as a young company, we experimented a lot. Okay, first year of the business, we went hiring, paying big bucks to big seniors. Okay, then you realize that the game is not matching, the vibe is not matching. Okay, then in the third year of the business, went in, said, okay, we are just going to experiment with the young talents. Okay, people who are coming out of college and everything. Great, exciting part, because you give opportunity to people to grow. Because someone gave me an opportunity, I grew. You're giving people an opportunity to grow. But again, the ratio in that is first 6 months you're just teaching them. Typical today's Gen Z. Getting them disciplined about work is a real task. So that happened. Now again we have went back to the mode wherein we work with people, who have great characters and attitude. Now we don't hire on CVs. We don't hire on CV because the kind of industry we are in, everyone is thinking, right? We are in a industry of storytellers. We are storytellers. MBA can be a storyteller. An engineer can be a storyteller. Even a sabji wala who we buy sabji from is a storyteller, right? So when everyone is a storyteller, we look for right kind of people who come with right kind of attitude. We look for people who come with hunger that they want to achieve something. Okay. and that's the clear cut eligibility criteria. Okay. Teaching is our game. We'll teach you what we want to achieve or what we want to make out of you. And we have seen people coming out of an entertainment background who were handling a couple of channels. Now they are doing great jobs on, say, the B2B clients, defense clients, energy clients. Okay. Because the art is safe. If you have the attitude, you will learn and you will grow big. That's a clear agenda that we follow in terms of hiring.
Okay. When you are initially starting the business, you need certain kind of runway to start, right? So, so how did you get that initial sum of money from?
So I think how it started was in between the period when I left my second job, which is September of 2020, till about when I started Branding Edge, which is December of 2020. I did 2 or 3 big assignments. Okay, and they were for, say, a institution, a personality or something. Okay, that's where the first major runway came in. Okay, and I think God was kind that within 4 months, I was able to achieve that much, and hence that has been the thing. We try to be very. We have been cash flow positive and profitable from day one. Okay, no debts, no equity leaked out till now. But the whole process is how well you can manage your finance. Okay, that is the first line of the business. And secondly, when I started, the idea was very clear. I just want that kind of a money, suppose if I'm paying, say, 5 lakhs in salaries in a month, can I have a runway for 6 months? So that was the thing. And in terms of, so we are bootstrapped, or we are to that extent that if my mother, because when we started, my mother still owns a part of equity in the company, because I wanted to start on a LLP model, looking at compliances and everything, So even if she would have sent me a document via courier, I have paid her for that also.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have been that bootstrapped and process.
From what I understand from our conversation, you don't call yourself a PR agency. You call yourself a strategic consultant.
Yeah.
So say, for example, I'm a client, and if you can just walk me through how do I reach out to you? What will be my ideal requirement? Why will I reach out to you? How does the process work?
So the ideal requirement would be, so again, 2 spheres. So anyone who's in capital market, why do and how do they reach out to us is, firstly, if they are, suppose they want to raise money or they want to go public. Okay. Typically how clients play the game is, they don't work on advertising, branding and PR side of the business till about they file their offer document with SEBI. Okay. That's where the marketing and every game will start. And post IPO, that suddenly they realize that, okay, till about IPO we were treated like kings. The story went on and on and on. For 6, 8, 9 months the story will go on. After 10 months, no one knows them. No one knows the story,
Right.
Still remember when I started Branding Edge, went to pitch to my first client saying that, we should do this much in advertising, digital and everything. They said that we have not thought about our company in this particular way. Okay. Because the best part which can happen to any company, their public listing, no one told us about the positioning, about what is brand positioning, So that's where the clients should reach us in terms of fundraise. Come before the IPO, we'll guide you through, we'll make your positioning. Okay, because the moment you get into IPOs, okay, you have to restrict yourself to the offer document. You can do everything as long as you are in the space of offer document. Okay, because that offer document would be 500 pages. The room for creativity would be only those 500 pages. So pre-IPO, you can do most of the creative stuff, then do the creative stuff within those 500 pages, so that people should know when they are investing in your company. People should know after you have got listed that why should someone be invested in your company, because what you'll see also is, as an investors, so 10 years back, investors were just chasing balance sheet and P&L. What is looking great? Is the company cash flow positive? Is the company this? Now they are not. Now they are chasing stories. Okay. Just because they are chasing stories, all the quick com things or D2C things which have got listed, okay, they've invested. Otherwise, we are fairly young, but talk of the India before us or when we were kids, okay, who would have thought investing in a loss-making entity?
Right.
No one, right?
Yeah.
Now just because people are chasing multi-baggers, okay? How the previous game happened was, 100 rupees stock can turn into 150, you have made 50% profit, great thing. People have never chased stories and the real multi-bagger thing, right? Who was the person who chased it? Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, the late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala did Titan, story,
Yeah.
banking on the story. So people are now chasing story. And till the time your story is not, firstly, the story is not out for most of the entities. Till the time your story is not out, why should? Then your stock is not treated like an investable stock. Your stock is treated like a tradable stock.
Right.
Hence the difference. And that is the kind of problem that we are trying to solve. And in terms of, like I was telling you pre the discussion also, in last 5 years, we have been one of the main turnaround players, getting the stories out of the companies who have done so really well, who are going through a turnaround. Because typically when a legacy business is going through a turnaround, the focus is too much on the business, because generations have changed and everything have changed and media have continuously covered you. So how the turnaround is happening and what will be the result of the turnaround? Because when the turnaround happens, you can expect more criticism on the company than the positive thing, because the turnaround will happen, people will see it for 3 years now if the turnaround is positive or not, okay. So that is the time where we come on into the place, and when we say the messaging part, we control the messaging part of it.
How do you do this exactly?
Again, a lot of understanding of the market and this thing. So one of our clients went and acquired a tire company of late, I think couple of years back, okay. And in India, investors have just not treated companies which have gone into the commercial tire segment really well, okay. Indian entities which have entered into commercial tire segment have failed miserably, okay. So just to get the messaging right, that when we are acquiring something of the NCLT, at what price point it is coming, and typically when we saw the scam series, the Harshad Mehta series, what will be the value of that thing if you are building it today? The cost replacement theory, right?
Right.
So suppose investors will say you're getting into something, boss, today if something, I have to spend around 2,000 crores, okay, just to build the infrastructure. I'm getting it for bloody 400 crores with a brand name. What is wrong in it? I'm just getting it for 1/5 of the total value of today's value. So again, getting the messaging right, that you are looking at from a very different standpoint, okay. What we are looking at, because when we are communicating the message also, I'm not communicating it as branding edge. I'm not the agency, I'm not the consultant, I'm no one. I am the client there, I'm the Corpcom department of the client. So my conviction will be not as an agency, not as a consultant. My conviction would be that I am practically the client who's sitting there. I will be on discussion with the client, with the investors, with this thing, and this is how we need to position it.
So when you say you position the company, what tools do you use? How do you do it exactly? Like in simple words, if you can explain to our viewers.
Simple word, get to understand the cycle of the development, okay. Understand who do you want to tell the development at what point of time, in terms of media also. Suppose the company is based out of Bangalore, okay. What do you want to tell? What will be attractive to a Bangalore media, to what will be attractive to a Bombay media, okay, to what is attracted and what should be post via advertising, via digital and everything, okay. So the kind of messaging, okay. Firstly, what is the form of messaging, how long we are planning to sustain that messaging, and what kind of a messaging should go across what platforms, is something that we do. So someone who will say us that, Rahul, I want something like this in economic times. Why? From what point of view are you talking? No, because people in our city read economic times. No. People in your city read Times of India more. If it is a city-based messaging, right? In every household, there's a Times of India which is going when you're talking. So hence the news is better for Times of India, this particular news, not for economic times. So going and explaining that to the promoters.
Okay.
And that's where they understand. Okay, why promoters trust us and why we are part of them at this point of time for anything and everything is because they know that they understand, we understand their business are better. you know we are just not involved as a agency just to disseminate news and everything. We know everything and we know what are their pain points, what are they gaining, and how and what time the news should go out.
Okay. And how do you approach pricing? The reason why I'm asking this, if somebody watching our podcast who's an aspiring entrepreneur and wants to enter something in the similar space, so probably by watching this podcast, they'll have a fair idea of how to approach pricing and what kind of margins they can expect if they start a similar kind of business.
See, again, what is the gap? Okay. One thing which you also need to understand is that when I started, I didn't follow the agency game. I identified the gap.
Right.
So the pricing for anything and everything will be dependent on what is the kind of gap that you're trying to build. Okay. The pricing for us would have been very different in first 2 years when we started the show to compare to last 18 months. Okay. It will be very different maybe in going ahead in 18 months. Okay. So at what particular time of company cycle you are in? Okay. What is the kind of gap that you're trying to solve? Okay. And the whole idea is what are you trying to achieve out of it? Okay. Because we have seen people charging more is not the solution, or charging less is not the solution. It is what you're worth, you should charge that, because we are in the service business, right? If you want to charge more, just thinking of one thing, that the whole thing should be sustainable, right?
Okay.
It should not be that you're charging $10 to a client, but only for 2 months. Because the market is too big, right? So-called. We are trying to be a consultancy, okay? But eventually the kind of work people are showing, or what people are, speaking about, so-called storytellers and everything, they say, okay, we are doing the same thing. So if I'm charging $10 to a client, I need to ensure that, boss, I'm delivering worth $10. Yeah?
Right.
So pricing is just an added pressure on us. It gets the best out of us, that just because we are charging premium, we need to deliver premium quality work.
Okay. Have you noticed any shift in the way consumers are perceiving brands to be more trustable or reliable, or one which has a lot of good reputation, because you also work with the reputation management? So can you share some insights on the way the consumers think?
I think consumers are the king. Consumers are very smart. Okay. Fooling is not an option at this point of time. Even if someone is fooling the consumer, it is a very short-term strategy. It cannot be a long-term strategy. Okay. What has changed is, people are really going after COVID. When the whole COVID buzz started, every company and every corporate would have come to a service provider and said that, give me a ROI. I just want a ROI. I want KPIs of what you guys are doing and everything. Give me a ROI for every buck I'm spending. I think the consumer has now taken into a corporate shoe where they are also saying that give us a ROI for every buck that we are spending. Okay. So in terms of reputation, in terms of brand management also, what we are getting into the thing, the idea is to be transparent, what you're getting, and this thing, add on to the creativity, add on to the emotions, and add on to the best thing that the consumer can get out of that particular company, that particular product, or that particular service. I think that's the thing that we are trying to do.
Okay. And what kind of storytelling, like you said, storytelling is very important right now. So what kind of storytelling format is working the best right now?
Storytelling format is, don't try to be repetitive. That's what we tell the clients.
Okay.
Just because you don't have a story, you'll try to repeat. No one cares. Because the moment people will care for the second time, after third time, they'll just lose the interest because they're saying the same story. Right? Today, if you're going to a food outlet, you'll eat a pizza. Okay, you have liked the pizza. You have not loved the pizza, but you have liked the pizza. You'll eat it once. You'll go the second time. You'll be like, okay, I like the pizza. Then you will be thinking that, was I too hungry last time? That's why, like, because it is not out of the world. You're just having the same cliche pizza. Third time, you will think twice going into that store, because you'll be like, what are the options? It's got them the same pizza that they're serving to us, right? But in terms of storytelling, what will be the option? So we are giving you a margherita. Okay. Now with the margherita thing only, we are giving you a pesto base. Now we are doing this much add-on. So there should be an add-on to the story always. Okay. And at no point of time we tell our clients also very clearly, the first story that we'll get for you, the next story will start from the point where the first story ended. It will not be a repetition of anything and everything.
Okay.
People don't, because you will lose audience. So many things are happening. What you're doing a podcast series, right? The idea is, if you're showing the same thing over and over again, people will lose it, because there are so many podcasts happening.
Right.
So you have to be different.
Yeah.
You have to up your game. You have to get more developments. You have to get better guests and everything and this thing. Hence, on the corporate side of the business also, there's no room for repetition.
Okay. And is AI being used in all this?
AI, so I think AI is a very interesting tool, what we have seen over a period of last 2 years. Okay. So I'll give you from two perspectives. Okay.
Yeah.
One's from a entrepreneur lens, where employer lens, and one's from a service provider lens. From an employer lens, AI will do two things in the industry. Okay. Firstly, AI, how the employers will take AI is, they'll cut down on the talent, the cost of employment. They'll say that we'll have AI tools and everything. Instead of paying 10 rupees as an employment cost every month, we'll cut it down to 5 rupees. We'll get 4 new freshers, we'll pay them 5 new freshers, pay them 50,000, 5 lakh, cut it down. Okay. This is one aspect of AI which will happen in our industry. Second thing which we as an agency are really working on is, we are saying that if you have 10 rupees to spend, right? What we will do is, currently if we are paying those 10 rupees to 20 people, okay, we will go and pay 10 rupees to 10 people. Okay. So at no point I'm cutting down on the employment amount. Okay. I'm keeping it same, or even I'll take it up to 12. Okay. But the room which will matter to me is, I will have a platform to work with 10 or 12 brilliant minds.
Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity. Okay. Because at the end of the day, people are using ChatGPT left, right, and center. Okay. ChatGPT will only work for you when you're giving decent prompts.
Right.
Who can give a decent prompt? Who can think?
Yeah.
So a quality person will always take a better use of ChatGPT vis-a-vis anyone.
Right.
So that's the kind of agenda that we are working on. On the service providing side, I think how AI has changed the game. AI has made, we are talking in a city like Bombay, which was considered to be very fast. AI has made us even faster. Because at no point of time you're dependent on anything. Okay. You can get the work done quickly. You can give quality work. You can give more presentable work. People who have creativity and lack the presentation skills, the flow, they can go to AI, okay, and get the problem solved. People who know the flow and they want some bit of creativity involved, AI can help you in creativity.
Right.
So on a service provider angle, I really feel that AI will take the pace so up, that market will think that AI is coming and supporting us. Okay, no. AI will take slow elements of the market, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah. So AI will only say that only the fittest can survive. I think that is something which my perspective on AI is.
Okay. And do you see any underrated market opportunity in the space which you're operating in?
No. I think in today's market, in the times we are living in India, everything is overvalued. Nothing is undervalued. I think no. I think most of the markets have got, okay. the there's a big undervaluation happening in one aspect of the market. Okay, practically the comms, the media, the advertising circuit has reached everywhere. Okay, that is the overvalued part of the market. The only undervalued part, or where the opportunity really lies, is strategy. Okay,
Okay.
strategy. And strategy again cannot be, when you talk about auditors, when you talk about the big strategy players, business, we say big fours. Okay, KPMG, Deloitte, ENY,
Right.
BCG will come, some other
Hmm.
person will come, right? People will only remember the top players.
Hmm.
Okay, and strategy cannot come without strategy cannot come without hard work. Okay, strategy means loads and loads of experience, loads and loads of reading, learning, visualizing things in a very different manner. Okay, so I think strategy is a very personal thing. It's a
Okay.
very personal thing. So can I expect that if I'm working with 14 people in my company, all 14 will be strategists? No. It's a very personal thing. It can happen to people early, it can happen to people late. Okay, but strategy, I feel, is a very undervalued segment in the comms thing, which is lagging.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it is getting worse, because even though everyone is claiming to be a storyteller and a strategist, more than most strategists, okay, it is just on paper.
Okay. So how can one exploit this gap, and how can they use strategy as a platform or a tool to?
Understand the market, the basic thing. So again, when, like I was telling you, I started doing capital market in 2016, right? My aspiration to get into capital market was FY28, right?
Right.
I have got into a capital market in FY26, right? 10 years of hardcore doing capital market.
Hmm.
And now I can make or speak some sense on capital market, right? Understanding media, understanding law, understanding compliance. Okay, are people doing that? No.
Okay.
How people are treating us? Oh, someone is making money there, let's go in there.
Hmm.
Do you know how that thing is done? No. Right?
Right.
So you're chasing. Unfortunately, in India, with the level of unemployment which the country has, okay, and the level of lack of creativity in the most creative field that we have,
Hmm.
people are just chasing each and every opportunity to make money.
Hmm.
So, like in market terms, we say India at this point of time, our market also have a loads of traders,
Hmm.
okay, but the investors are very few. The wealth creating investors are very few.
Right. In fact, even in traders, I mean, there are many traders, but the profitable ones are very few.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
True.
And what is happening is, when there are very few, this thing, no, uh, the market gets spoiled. Okay, and the pain point, like when the traders are doing any mischief, who are the who are the people who will face the pain point? Retail investors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
when in our circuit, when agencies are just not the right fit in this thing, who will feel the pain point? The clients.
Hmm.
And the rule of the game is very simple. The moment retail investors will take a nosedive, they'll take a crash and everything, it will just get difficult for anyone to get them back into the market,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
They'll just not trust the market.
Hmm.
So what we also feel as a pressure is, the agencies who have been going on and on in the business practically either have looted the client, or have dismantled the client, or have just not given any value add to the client, that once the client leave any particular thing, they just say, we don't want to come back, you know, because you will be one of the others. So it's a same plain simple capital market game. You need to create value to sustain.
So, but say a founder who's just starting out, who has a business but has limited marketing budget, how should he or she go about it?
The best form is, what are you good at? Okay. Typically knowing that what are you good at, how you want to. So a person like me who's very camera shy, who just don't like to be seen, okay, what do you want to do? The best places start over LinkedIn. Create a value.
Okay.
Because see, at the end of the day, it is about value, right? And any founder, you can be with zero marketing budget. You don't need a marketing budget. If there's some value in your product, if your product is too good, then it will market itself.
Okay.
It will market itself. So again, you see multiple things that when you go on quick comms also, one thing which you have never heard about, and randomly you'll order it, and that is the coffee that you like. It will come. I still remember going to a couple of Delhi hotels couple of years back, and they used to keep this coffee pouch, Sleepy Owl.
Yeah.
Sleepy Owl. The sachets, you'll have couple of flavors and everything. You don't need to market yourself. If the product has a typical value, then today as an agency, we are just a Sleepy Owl agency. We'll just have Sleepy Owl, right? The kind of flavors, the kind of blend it will have, the kind of blend it will have with milk, without milk, and everything, right? So the product will speak. The first round of thing is what you're comfortable with. If you have 1 lakh, okay, are you comfortable with spending 1 lakh on LinkedIn? Go on LinkedIn. Are you comfortable spending 1 lakh on media? Go on media. But from day one, even though I'm very young, I tell to the legacy founders also, go all in one thing. You can't, sorry, in our industry, you can't have 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. Don't follow that route, okay? You want to follow the route, be 95%, 5 to 5%, be 100% to 0%, but you need to go all in.
Okay.
I'm an extremist. You need to know that what is working for you, what is not working for you.
Okay.
Yeah. And spending $5 into 5, you will never know what is really working for you and not.
Okay, interesting. What separates a brand that scales from a brand which is just a local brand?
The product. And see, the only thing is that what I feel, what people don't get is people play on the motivation part of it. That this is a great product, it will do well now, tomorrow, day after, or something. How world should look at things is not the motivation. You should play on the situations. What is happening in the market, what is the real value of it. A great product, okay, if it is coming at a wrong time, it will not be a great product. Okay, so you need to know that what is a product, where is your product today, what is a market aspiration for it, right? Today, till about say 7-8 years back, 9 years back, 10 years back, India was not a market from the most premium thing, right? Will you buy a gold coin, or will you buy a jewelry, say which is $10,000, buy a quick commerce 10 years back, right? So again, every product will only work when there's a market and when the time is right. And you need to have that much resilience in you, patience in you, that you wait for the right opportunity and keep building it. Keep building the back end. Okay? Or the best thing should be, enter the market, understand the market, and time it really well. Time it too well. You need to understand in 2025, you should be building for 2030. But if the opportunity comes in 2028, you should be ready in 2028 also.
Okay.
I think that is the entrepreneur hunger. You need to work and approach the market well.
Okay. Have you learned anything from the clients which you have worked with, which has had an impact on Branding Edge?
Everything. I think everything. Because working with legacy companies and working directly with the MDs and CFOs and CEOs, all the learnings come.
Would you like to
that.
share a few learnings?
Very recent one of my clients, in that he's one of the top denim manufacturers in the company, listed entity. And suddenly we were talking, and one business lesson came that, people start at 0, okay, go to 100. And then people keep putting in the hard work after 100 also, after 100 also. Okay. So he said after 100, the room to grow will be very limited, right?
Okay.
People just go all in out. This is a water bottle, right? The moment the water reaches here, it's done, right? It cannot accumulate any more water. People keep pushing in that 2 more drops, 2 more drops, 2 more drops. The idea should be once you're reaching at 100, you should be that creative that say, okay, now I have taken this particular thing to 100. Let me work on another thing. I'll go to 0 and put all my creativity and take another thing to 100.
Okay.
Yeah. So people just get lost in, and they, in terms of passion, in terms of emotions and everything. Yes, business need emotions, but business is business, right? You need to know. You need to know when to stop somewhere and when to start the new things.
Okay.
It cannot be emotional. It has to be a right business decision. What this morning only, because yesterday or day before, Zomato's result came out. 2022, acquiring a loss-making company for 4,500 crore, Blinkit, right? Now it is making sense, right? Why? Because you need to have that far sight that after a point of time, this particular category may saturate, okay, or may not have great things, okay.
Right.
Or if I am acquiring into some other categories 2.5 years down the line, it will come for a triple a price. So I think that is a entrepreneur or that is a founder gut that you need to have. And something that's the kind of business lesson we learn. And fortunately, I think, like I told you, what is going wrong in the industry is coming without experience. What is going right for us being a young company is the kind of business lesson you're accumulating from practically everyone.
Interesting.
It's too big.
So we have some rapid fire questions for you.
Sure.
One trend in branding that will disappear soon.
Self-proclamation.
Okay.
It will disappear. It
Okay.
will be more on what the consumer feels.
Okay.
What the consumer feels should be the real value of your brand than you feeling the real value of your brand.
Okay. One brand you think is doing brilliant storytelling right now?
Zomato.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is one branding myth that professionals still believe in?
That if you are getting one newspaper coverage, it will change the light of how investors think about your brand or anything. That you can win the game going in only one category. You need to cover all the entry points to win the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this almost brings us to the end of the podcast. Would you like to share something which we have probably not covered in the podcast, which may add some value to our viewers from the space which you operate in, or something which you'd like to share with our viewers?
I think two things. Two things for where it would be like a recap of what I said in terms of anyone who's getting into it. Okay, because your podcast is more entrepreneur focused.
Yeah.
2 lessons which I was taught, and I have one addition by myself. First was, do not chase money, chase work,
Right.
and money will follow. Okay. Second thing which came from my previous boss to me was the value of being the right product. Right? Today what is happening is people are going as 50% product. Okay. You will make money. Okay. But it will be bloody hard for you to scale up. You cannot scale up. Why? Because you are just not the right product. When you're not the right product, how can you interview 10 people? You don't know that much. So people can come and make fool of you at any point of time. So the value of being the right product and a good product will never be replaced. Okay. And you need to wait. There's a life, so everything you should not want today only. Okay. Third thing is, which my personal motto is, that everything will come to you in time.
Okay.
Everything will come to you in time. When I started in 2020, 16 December, I started in 2020. Within 6 months, I wanted to be 100 crore turnover company, right?
Okay.
The aspiration of being a young person, that you'll do. No. The beauty of that thing is, the moment scale is coming, no, it will feel that what you could have achieved in 10 years, you have achieved in 10 days. Okay. So you have to wait for the time. You have to be there. Okay. And this is a lesson which I've learned when I used to play cricket. Coaches used to say, just go and stand on the pitch. If you're standing on the pitch for 20 overs, being the last player batting, right? The bowler will bowl enough wide and give you extra runs. In case if you're going and hoiking it from the first ball, you will get out and the team will lose 20 runs. So just be patient, which lags in today's generation, and just try to wait it out, because whatever is meant for you will come to you and at the right time. So that is something which the young entrepreneur should learn. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rahul. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Sudarshan, for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching this episode at the very end. If you found this episode to be valuable and insightful, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel and let us know your feedback in the comment section below. Thank you.